What's up, Spud Nation? It is that time of the week. Fantasy football time. We're ready. Got to get all your guys in the lineup, get your maximum lineup, and get it in now. We got a Thursday night game headed our way. We have to survive that. Know the injury reports, know who you're going to play, and get maximum points out of your roster. Those of you who tuned in last week, you know that we hit another one out of the park. Sleepers scoring touchdowns. You asked questions, I answered them. Those of you tuned in, we keep on winning. That's what we do. Tell your friends, spread the word. This is where it's at. ESPN has nothing on the sports coach. So here we go. Thursday night game, Oakland, San Diego. This should be a hell of a game. We have the Oakland Raiders. Carson Palmer, yeah, he's back. Threw a couple interceptions, but he threw for a lot of points last week. 20 points plus in most leagues, throwing touchdowns. He found what looks to be his favorite receiver in Jacoby Ford. Jacoby Ford goes over 100 yards. If he is a free agent in your leagues, swoop him up. Pick this man up because when new quarterbacks step in, they find favorite receivers. I thought it was going to be Hayward Bay. It looks like it's going to be Jacoby Ford. Hayward Bay was not a factor at all. Pick up Jacoby Ford, put him on your bench, ride it another week, and see if Carson Palmer calls his number again. Pick him up. That's a nice sleeper to pick up late in your year. Could help you in the playoff push. No Darren McFadden again. Michael Bush is a starter in your lineup. I don't care who he's playing. Michael Bush runs hard. Playing for any other team in the NFL, many of the other teams in the NFL, Michael Bush would be a starting running back. The guy's a beast. He can tote the rock. He'll find the end zone. And he catches passes. Bush is a total package. McFadden on the shelf. Bush is in your starting lineup. As for San Diego, they have running back woes of their own. Ryan Matthews coming back from injury to supposedly start over Mike Tolbert. That's the rumor in San Diego, so go with it. I love Ryan Matthews. Great pass catcher, runs hard, but he has durability issues. He hasn't finished any of the past 3 games he's played in. He sat out last game. So if you have him, start him, but beware, he may not finish the game. Still nursing that injury. So those of you who have Mike Tolbert, you know that he's a touchdown stealer. But now he might be a carry stealer now. Get him in your lineup. I don't think it's a bad play. Tolbert should get some carries. Could even equal a touchdown. I like both of them as a play. If you have the option, though, I got asked this question. I'm going with Ryan Matthews. Matthews is labeled the starter. I just love him. I like him. He's a better running back than Tolbert, so go with that. Risky play, though. Telling you that. All right, we're going to jump ahead. Well, all right, we'll hit on Phillip Rivers. You have him, start him. He puts up a lot of points. Vincent Jackson, nice play as well. And Antonio Gates, the guy is in the lineup. He should be in your starting lineup. All right, those are givens. We'll move forward to Sunday. Arizona versus Philly. Arizona, Patrick Peterson, you are making them very exciting to watch. Making the Arizona Cardinals defense might be a nice pickup late in the year. Peterson has huge play ability all over him. He's spectacular. The punt return he took back in the house in overtime. Wow, this guy is special. So, if you're searching for a defense late in the year, pick him up. Why not? It won't hurt anything. Just due to Peterson's special teams ability. Beanie Wells, I see him as the only other starter in Arizona. Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald, a huge name, should get a lot of targets. He just doesn't find the end zone enough for me. That Philly team, hopefully they can start covering someone. Nnamdi Asomugha, lock him up on Larry Fitz. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, I have Beanie Wells as a starter in my lineup. He should run all over that weak Philly front. So there you go. For Philly, Michael Vick, he's a huge name. But the production hasn't been quite what everyone was expecting. Jeremy Maclin, nice possession receiver, and LaShawn McCoy, he is the real deal. McCoy is a definite starter. I love Macklin. Keep him in your lineup. And Michael Vick, he might crack my top 10 this week. So, there you go. If you have Vick, if you have a better option, now's the time to contact me, Craig@thesportscoach.com. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on YouTube. You know where to find me. Find me. I will help answer all your questions. Tennessee versus Carolina. Tennessee, they have one guy that I keep preaching about, and that is Damian Williams. He scores touchdowns. Not a lot of targets, not a lot of catches, but he scores touchdowns. That was my sleeper. Scored a touchdown last week. Those of you who ran out and picked him up, I hope it helped. For Carolina, I love Cam Newton. For those of you who were with me from day one, Cam Newton, I preached big things about him. Cam Newton's paying big dividends. Steve Smith, I think, is going to have a huge week this week. And also, Greg Olsen should find the end zone. And if you want to talk about Chris Johnson, don't. It's a what have you done for me now world. He hasn't done crap, so forget him. Bench him, move on, enjoy your lives without him. Washington versus Miami. Roy Halou, hello. I've been loving this guy from day one. Halou's the starter, led the team in receiving last week. Look for more of the same this week. Fred Davis, also another nice play for you. He's just a beast at tight end. For Miami, I guess if you have a Miami Dolphin, it should be Reggie Bush right now. It hurts me to say this. I don't think he is a very good running back in the NFL. But you know what? If the Dolphins want to give him the rock, give the kid the rock. He'll catch the ball. He might even score you know what? He's not going to score a touchdown. We'll leave it at that. Bush, he could get some carries. He's not cracking my lineup. Jacksonville versus Indy. Jaguars, Maurice Jones-Drew was good a couple of years ago. He's fallen off the face of the earth. He's not worth a play, but you know what? If you spent the high draft pick on him, get the guy in your lineup. He could surprise everyone and maybe get you 80 yards. If all the stars align, he'll get you a touchdown. For Indy, maybe Dallas Clark is a deep sleeper play at tight end, but beyond that, Colts are just terrible. It's amazing what one guy can do and what one guy means to a team, both offensively and defensively, like Peyton Manning does. It's amazing, but Andrew Luck, he's going to look good in Indy next year. And you know what? Peyton Manning's career is over. You heard it here. I don't think he's playing again. You talk about neck, you talk about nerves, you talk about all that. Not good, especially for an immobile quarterback like Peyton Manning. Not good. Move forward. Denver versus Kansas City. Well, hello, Willis McGahee. He's still alive, and man, was he running well. I like Willis McGahee. He's a starter in your league, a nice flex play, a second running back or a flex play. McGahee's going to get the ball and get it a lot. Tim Tebow, I love him as a fantasy football player. And Eric Decker, I am high on Eric Decker right now. Very nice receiver too, and a superior flex play this week. For Kansas City, all right, we'll go with Kansas City. Dwayne Bowe, you have to start him. Jackie Battle, he's getting a lot of opportunity there. I also like Steve Breston coming off a huge game. Led the team in yards. He's not a bad play. Probably available in your leagues. Pick him up. It's a nice risk to take if you have a receiver on bye, an injury-plagued team. Slide Breston in there, and he might surprise you with some catches. And, you know, some good yardage. Kansas City, they have a lot of weapons. They're using them. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I love what this game could be. Two great defenses going at it. Let's see if the youngster can handle Big Ben. Start with Pittsburgh. Antonio Brown. He's hot. He's just rolling right now. This guy is one of the hottest players in fantasy football. Scoring touchdowns, leading the team in receiving yardage past couple of weeks. I like him. You got to ride hot streaks and ride this sucker till it's over. I also like Big Ben in this matchup, Mike Wallace, and if you have Mendenhall, slide him into your lineup. For Cincinnati, AJ Green is a must. He's a starter in everyone's league, everyone's team. He is on my team. I love this guy. Cedric Benson, if you're looking for a running back that gets opportunity with the ball, he gets 20-plus carries. What he does with it, yeah, it's 50-50, iffy. He's going to have a hard time running on that Pittsburgh defense. But if you're looking for a flex play, a running back too, Cedric Benson isn't the worst play in the entire world. Also a deep sleeper. I preach this guy. He scored again. I love Jerome Simpson. You know what? Go with him. He's a deep sleeper play. Cincinnati can't throw it to A.J. Green every time. So Jerome Simpson, a nice play on your fantasy team. Buffalo versus Dallas. The Bills, they have to rebound in a major way. And I think they will. They have great ball hawking skills. Romo's known to throw a couple interceptions. Buffalo's going to get a couple of those from him. I like Buffalo's defense as a play. As far as the offensive side of things for Buffalo, Fred Jackson, he's a must. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's putting up great numbers. Stevie, my man Stevie Johnson, touchdowns are down, but he's getting a ton of targets. He's also getting pretty good receiving yardage. He's a nice play, a nice receiver 2, receiver 3, or a flex play this week. My sleeper last week, David Nelson, he came through, scored a touchdown. I also like him this week. I think that Fitzpatrick, he spreads the ball around so much. David Nelson, he's a nice big target. Going to get you some catches, get you some yards. I like Scott Chandler finding the end zone this week. There you go. For Dallas, Witten, Bryant, DeMarco Murray. Romo's going to get you some good yardage, couple touchdowns. So if you have Romo, not a bad play. But I love what DeMarco Murray's doing. Witten, always a killer. And Dez Bryant, he's our number one guy. Go with him. Saints, Atlanta. Drew Brees, no-brainer. The Saints running back situation got even more just jam-packed. Chris Ivory started, got the most carries out of the backfield bunch. You have Pierre Thomas, snuck in Darren Sproles, who's been the most efficient of the group. And then if Mark Ingram plays, still uncertain if he's going to play. My God, that's 4 running backs. You never know who they're going to give the ball to, in what situation, what circumstance, who's going to get 1 carry, who's going to get 14 carries. You never know. Very, very risky maneuver for any fantasy owner out there. Right now, probably the safest play is Darren Sproles, just because he's used on a lot of passing opportunities, and the Saints pass a ton. Beyond that, all of them are a coin flip, all very risky. And you know what? When they get in the red zone, it's a lot of pass anyway. So Saint running backs, not a great play. I love Jimmy Graham. Start him. He's a lock. For Atlanta, Michael Turner gets the ball 20-plus times. He is a must-play. Julio Jones is back. Julio Jones, big play man, all over the place. I loved what he did last week. I would have talked more about him. Did not know he was playing. My fault. But Julio Jones had a great week. I loved it. He's a good play. I like him. If you have him, he's a great flex play. Third receiver, anywhere in that range. Roddy White, you spent a high draft pick on him. Get him in your lineup. And also Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez, I told you he'd find the end zone last week. He did. Tony Gonzalez, always a solid play at tight end. Rams, Browns. Browns have absolutely nobody worth risking anything on. Rams, Steven Jackson. I love Brandon Lloyd as well. Both those great fits. Keep them in your lineup. Texans, Buccaneers. The Texans, they have a two-headed monster in the backfield that is second to none. Ben Tate, Arian Foster, both you can start on your fantasy team. Foster should find the end zone this week. Tate, always a gamble, but the way he's running, I say he's going to find the end zone as well. They are the true run-first team in the NFL. I love it. Both running backs, very capable. Both are studs. Look for them both to have big games. And Andre Johnson, I'm going to honk that horn again. Andre Johnson, it appears he's going to be playing. he plays, he's a starter, bottom line. For Tampa, Mike Williams. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say it every week. This guy gets a ton of targets. He can't find the end zone to save his life, but my God, this guy's targets and catches are up. Up, up, up. He's going to find the end zone eventually, and I'm going to say not this week. So if you have Mike Williams and you have a PPR league, he's a nice play. Without the PPR, Mike Williams is a flex play at best. Ravens, Seahawks, this should be a huge game for Ray Rice. He does it all, receiving and running. Should score at least twice this week. I like what Ray Rice can do. Bolden, Torrey Smith, I like them both. Both solid plays this week. Seattle, nobody worth mentioning. Detroit, Chicago. This should be a bruiser of a game, but I love my Detroit Lions, so I'm going Megatron. Of course, he's a start. Stafford going to throw the ball all over the place. Pettigrew, I love him as a tight end. Probably cracks my top 10 this week. And for a sleeper play, a nice second running back or a flex play, Maurice Morris. He should be getting the majority of the carries, and that, I love the opportunity word. Opportunity is huge. Maurice Morris, he has an opportunity to carry the ball. For the Bears, Matt Forte, he is their offense, and I'm starting to believe Marion Barber is relevant again. Not a huge yardage producer, doesn't get a ton of carries, but when they get inside the 10, Marion Barber is a touchdown vulture. Nothing wrong with that for you fantasy owners. He is probably a free agent. Run out there, pick him up. Marion Barber, they get close. He's scoring touchdowns. It is either completely hit or completely miss with Marion Barber. Risky play, but that's how championships are won. New York Giants taking on the 49ers. This should be a doozy. 49ers, I love their defense this week. Giants are all banged up. 49ers defense is disgustingly good anyway. Get them in your lineup. Also, Frank Gore, tons of opportunity there. Should score a touchdown. Crabtree gets a lot of targets. They like him. And I'm just rolling the dice on this week. Vernon Davis, they need to get this kid rolling. He's a huge part of their offense. I'm hoping that they start targeting this guy a little bit more. For those of you who need a tight end, maybe your guy's on bye. Vernon Davis, slide him in. Tricky play, but I like him. He's got all the talent in the world. They need to start throwing him the ball eventually. For the Giants, it appears Ahmad Bradshaw wants to play. Whether or not he can tote the ball more than 10 times in a game, to be determined, and he's playing on a broken foot. I mean, it's got to be painful. No matter how much you inject that foot, it's going to hamper him. So I'm not expecting huge things from Bradshaw, even if he plays. Brandon Jacobs then gets some opportunity, but I'm looking for Eli to throw the ball all over the place. Hakeem Nicks going to be out again. So I'll look for Victor Cruz, Mario Manningham. Might even sprinkle in a little Jake Ballard in there. So look for the Giants to throw early and often this game. Patriots, Jets. Patriots need to rebound, and they do that on the arm of Tom Brady. Bottom line, Tom Brady needs to throw the ball, needs to throw it a lot. He's going to look to his big tight ends, Hernandez, Gronkowski. I think Gronkowski should have a great game this week. Wes Welker, they need to get him in the end zone, but Welker still puts up huge numbers. PPR, he's a monster. He puts up nice yardage, and look for that to continue. For the Jets, Plaxico Burress, he sat out practice this week. They say it's just to rest. I like Plax. He's coming on strong. Santonio Holmes. I like Dustin Keller. I like anyone that Sanchez is going to throw to this week. The Patriots, they couldn't cover myself, my brother, my mom, anyone. They can't cover anyone. So look for Sanchez to have a nice game along with his receiving core. I'm also, here is a deep sleeper for you. Not to play this week, but for weeks down the road. Look at Joe McKnight. Carries are increasing. He's the most talented running back on that team. just keep an eye on him out there, Spud Nation. Joe McKnight for the New York Jets. I like him. Super talented guy. It's just a matter of opportunity for that kid. If Sean Green still can't get it done, look for Joe McKnight. His carries to increase, and he's going to start creeping on that starting job. And the Monday night game, the Vikings versus the Packers. Adrian Peterson, enough said. You want another sleeper running back? Toby Gerhart should start getting a few more carries. I'm not saying run out there and bench Adrian Peterson because of Toby Gerhart. Peterson's the best in the business, but they're going to start giving him a couple more breathers during the game. Toby Gerhart should get anywhere from 5 to 10 carries, and that's not a bad, it's not a bad option to have. He's a free agent in every league. Go out there, pick him up, see what the Vikings do with him the second half of the year. At worst, you pick him up for a couple weeks and then you drop him. It's not hurting your team. You cleared all the buys. Go out there, take a risk on this guy. But Adrian Peterson, best in the business. He is in the starting lineup. For the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, we talk about best in the business. This dude is amazing. He makes everyone look good. Greg Jennings, I love Jordy Nelson this week. I think Jordy Nelson's going to have a nice game. I think Jermichael Finley's just getting hot right now. And the Packers should walk away with a huge win at home. So there you go. That's it, Spud Nation. We have my all-sleeper team for this week coming up. I like Carson Palmer. I'm going to call Michael Bush a sleeper. I'm calling Willis McGahee a sleeper right there. 4 receivers, Antonio Brown, Jacoby Ford, Dallas Clark, and my flex play this week, Torrey Smith. Those are my sleepers for the week. My locks right here, Rodgers, Adrian Peterson, Ray Rice, Steve Smith, Megatron, Gronkowski, and Arian Foster. That's it. Kick some major butt this week in your fantasy football leagues. Tell your friends, tell everyone, man. The more you can help me out, the more I can help you guys out. You have any questions, comments, concerns, YouTube me or come right at me, Craig at thesportscoach.com. Email me. I will get right back to you. Very good about it. Be ready for that Thursday night game. Be prepared for Sunday and go out there and get that W. Till next time, we're out.